What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Dome Field Advantage podcast, right here exclusively on the Fanatics Network. I am your host, Dylan Abear, and joining me officially for the first time is my co-host for this episode, Jordan Johnson. Jordan, this is a special upload episode. I'll kind of get into the details as why in a few minutes, but sadly, your first time as a co-host has to be this way, talking about a bad Saints loss that we'll be talking about in a few minutes. Aside from that, how's your day going?
Oh, my day's doing good, and I know it was rough.
Yeah, it was pretty rough, like I said, we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But the reason why, yes, this episode is going to be airing at the same time it normally airs. If you're watching this, it'll be Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Time, but it'll be a premiere where we won't see your comments live. I will do my best to be in the comments, responding to everybody that'll be there. Jordan is going to do the same thing. Jordan will try to be in the comments as well, responding back to people as well that comments on this video. But the reason why we're not going live at 6 p.m. Central is because I'm having a small medical procedure done at 3 o'clock Central today. I've been having an issue with my big toe. It's an ingrown toenail that caused an infection, and the doctors want to get the entire toenail off today. So I'll be recovering from that as this episode will be airing. So unfortunately, we won't be going live this week, but catch us next Wednesday where we will be doing a Patriots recap, and then we'll be previewing the next game as well. But let's for one, let's not waste any time. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to last week's game against Tampa Bay. It was our second NFC South matchup of the season. It was inside the Superdome. We had Derek Carr, who we did not expect to have. We didn't think we were going to have Derek Carr playing. And all of a sudden, it's game day, and he's here. Like he's starting, and quite a surprise. Whenever we talked about on our last show about the preview, we said Jameis was the guy. We said Derek Carr was not playing. He had a kind of a legit shot on playing, but I think it would be the smarter decision to sit him out and play Jameis and whatnot. So before we even take a deep dive into this game, what was the reaction like whenever Derek Carr, they said he is starting today? Were you concerned of the injury? They said that he was throwing good. He wasn't having any issues with the shoulder and whatnot. But what was your reaction whenever they said that he is starting today over Jameis Winston?
I was like, I was surprised that he was starting because I thought Jameis was gonna start, and then they said Derek Carr starting. I'm like, all right, I guess. Hopefully, he don't like hurt it again by getting sacked and all that.
Yeah. And as we've seen from some throws, Derek Carr didn't really have any trouble, making deep passes. It's just he wasn't connecting with anybody. Every deep pass that was going out there, it was going either overthrown, he was putting too much on it, and it wasn't reaching the receiver. And I'm not sure who to blame when it comes to this game. As you see right here, the Saints did fall 26-9 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers inside of the Superdome, to Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I should say. It's not Tom Brady no more. We did a lot of talk about Baker, how he was, I would say, probably one of the worst quarterbacks in a division, and someone in that division is a rookie. So putting a rookie above Baker Mayfield, I feel like is a little wild. But Baker is not proven to me, so that's why that talk came out, and he outplayed, and we were outcoached. There's no way around it. Like, there's no excuses when it comes to this. And normally, whenever we talk recaps, we normally do some of our takeaways. Sometimes we do like offensive, defensive player of the games, and we do our play of the game. Really, looking at the final score, I'm throwing all these topics out of the window. I feel like whatever recap we do before we get into the preview, it just needs to be a full discussion as to what the hell went wrong, because it can be the play on the field, it can be the coaching. And right now, I'm putting a lot of the blame on the coaching, because the play calling was absolutely horrendous. The coaching itself by Dennis Allen was absolutely horrendous. So that leads me to wonder, Jordan, I'll ask you first. Out of these two names on the screen right here, who do you blame more out of this? Is it more of a Dennis Allen problem? It is a Pete Carmichael problem. Who are you blaming, the coach more or the offensive coordinator?
Uh, I'll go. Can I go both?
Yeah, you really could go both. Honestly, you got any reason behind both? I mean, honestly, I'm gonna say both as well, but I want to know your sort of reasoning for choosing both of them.
With Pete Carmichael, he's calling the plays, and he's just less short passes and all that, like 5 yards, and then it gets to third down, and they going deep,
Hmm.
and then Dennis Allen's just standing on the sideline with his arms crossed, not doing nothing, and just walking uh, down the sideline like he ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, with Pete Carmichael, it's kind of been like a he wasn't calling the plays whenever Sean Payton was there. For those who don't know that's watching right now, Sean Payton was the coach there. Sean Payton was also calling the plays. So Pete Carmichael was really there serving as kind of like that assistant to do nothing. I mean, he wasn't doing anything. And excuse me, and he was really standing on the sideline earning a paycheck just to have a title behind his name, and it did nothing. So for one, Sean Payton was the play caller there for that offense, and he's seen how well that offense succeeded. I know Denver with Sean Payton is not up to their standards. I know they had a big comeback against Chicago, but still, I don't think that Denver's living up to whatever they were gonna live up with Russell Wilson and Sean Payton right there. But Sean Payton in New Orleans, that offense was unstoppable. You have guys like Drew Brees, Jimmy Graham, this Marcus Colston, Devery Henderson, Pierre Thomas. I can go on and on about that offense. And then even whenever the newer guys like an Alvin Kamara comes in and other guys come in as well, the offense still looked good because Sean Payton was still calling the plays. But now with Dennis Allen there, he shifted over to play calling to Pete Carmichael, actually making him try to live up to what his title was, the offensive coordinator. And it's been a disaster. And not just this season. It's been season since Dennis Allen took over. He handed that play calling over to Pete Carmichael, and it's been rough. Like you were saying, this past game, Derek Carr comes in with a healthy shoulder, and they're not letting him do what he normally does, and that's launch the ball down the field. He did it a few times, but it was on Derek Carr for overthrowing. But then you were just talking like it was a 3rd and 5, I think, and for some reason, Pete Carmichael has the guys going down the field whenever all you need is 5 yards. So it's on both. It's on Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael. I know that fans are calling for Pete Carmichael. I'm doing the same. I want Pete Carmichael gone as well. But at the same time, you gotta also put some of that blame on Dennis Allen because in his most recent press conference, he says the team is not looking to make any sort of coaching changes or staffing or even changing who the play caller is. And I think that's one of the most frustrating things that you can deal with as a fan is seeing this team that is so damn good and then they turn out to be so bad. Like this team is healthy. I'm not saying we're fully healthy because we're missing guys right now. Jawan Johnson didn't even play. He wasn't on the injury report. He wasn't on the inactives list, but he got ready to come out, and I think he suffered like a calf injury, and he didn't play at all. So we were left with one tight end with Jimmy Graham. So right there, we were already depleted at tight end. And then we were down Cesar Ruiz, who is out with a concussion, and I believe we lost another offensive lineman due to a concussion as well. I think it was Andrews Pete who went down as well with a concussion or another injury. I know Andrews Pete gets hurt like crazy, but yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, and we're still down Paulson Adebo, who is the other corner that's on the opposite end of Marshawn Lattimore. Isaac Yedem got targeted. Uh, yet again, and it cost us, pretty bad because he's getting targeted just left and right, and it's just frustrating to see that because at the end of the day, Baker's not a good quarterback, but at the end of the day, man, he outplayed Derek Carr. He outplayed our entire team. So as much as I hate the Buccaneers, I got to give them their credit. They came in there and they beat our ass, and there's no other way around it. Like I'm not one to give the rivals their credit, but they did so. They came in there and they beat the shit out of us. And there's no easy way to put that. There's no sugarcoating it. We got our asses kicked in the Superdome and only scored 9 points. Let me say this again. 9 points inside of the Superdome. The Saints offense was only able to put up 9. Do you know what's wrong with that? There's a lot wrong with that. Because look at our past offenses. We were putting up damn near fucking 40 points a game. And now we're being held to 9. Come on, man. Like the Buccaneers defense is not that good to where we're being held to 9 points. It was just it's just miscues on offense left and right. It was bad play calling, and really there's no other way around it. It was just bad play calling, it was bad coaching, and it reflected on the field. So that's the most I can add on to this game, other than the embarrassment that people already watched this past Sunday. Because really and truly, as a fan, I'm embarrassed. Like I am embarrassed. And there's not many times that I get embarrassed with this team. But when you come in there, you have a healthy team. You got Michael Thomas there. You got Chris Olave, who didn't do jack shit on the field. Like Alvin Kamara back, who the offensive line, who we talk about week after week, is not getting blocked to run to have a good path. Come on, man. Honestly, I knew this game was doomed after we have such a promising drive, and then they try this little trick play to where they throw it to Kamara, or they throw it to I think Taysom, then he throws it back to Kamara, and he loses like fucking 8 yards on it. So that's how I knew our day was doomed right there. 'Cause what was that play call? Like we were moving on the field so good, and then they try this stupid shit right there, and they get stuffed for like 8 yards, and then we of course got to settle for 3 because red zone is not what we are good at right now. We're not good at anything right now. This offense is a dumpster fire. And I know there's other fans of other teams out there that's saying, "Oh, we all offense is better than ours." Honestly, how? I mean, I want to know how our offense is looked at it being either decent or somewhat good, because it's not. And I think until you get rid of Pete Carmichael, there's no way that this team succeeds. I mean, the defense is looking good, but the defense is struggling because they're out on the field making plays, and then they have to go right back out there because the offense screwed them over. And really and truly, and with the offense, I talk Chris Olave, I talk Michael Thomas, who didn't really have a good day, I talk Alvin Kamara, who didn't have a good day. But why on earth do we have a backfield the way we do, and we're handing the ball to Adam Prentice, which is a fullback? Why are we handing it to this dude? He dropped an open pass that would have been a first down, and he fumbles at the goal line, and that led to a Buccaneers touchdown. I don't know. It's just frustrating as a fan. It's frustrating to get your hopes up every Sunday and you lose. The first 2 weeks I feel like got us all fooled because I was on the fire Dennis Allen train all last season. I think I tweeted it pretty much every game. We start off 2-0, first time in 10 years we start off 2-0. I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt. Now I'm back on it. I'm fully on the fire Dennis Allen and even the Pete Carmichael train right now. I want them both gone. If he doesn't make an offensive move at some point with Pete Carmichael gone, it's going to cost him his job as well. He already said that he's pretty much sealing his faith, and he's keeping Pete Carmichael as the offensive play caller. I think that's going to screw him over, and it's going to cost him his job as well. And I hope it does, because I don't want either of them there no more. I think there's better coaches out there on the open market that can make some sort of impact for this team. That's just me. But before we
Yeah,
move on to the Patriots game, you got anything else?
some has to be done. And then they had the fans, the fans booing, and I didn't. Yeah, they booed them and all that. So
Yeah, for your fans to be booing like that, that has to send some sort of message, and not just to Dennis Allen, but to the higher ups, to Gail Benson, to Mickey Loomis, to all the higher ups. That has to send some sort of message. I don't know.
yeah,
But let's try to hop into more of a positive note, or at least I try to be positive, and that's the Patriots game. We got a big game this week. the Patriots today just landed J.C. Jackson from the Chargers, who was a star corner over there before landing a big contract with the Chargers. Didn't go so well over there. He was healthy scratches sometimes, and then he gets traded back to the Patriots because the Patriots, I think rookie standout corner is out for the rest of the season, so they brought him back over there. And isn't it so ironic that it happens right before they play us? It just happens every time. Like a player comes back from suspension, a player that's been out with injury all season long. It always happens when they play us. It's the most ironic thing of all time. So, all right, let's get into this game. As positive as I want to be about it, and that I'll try to be about it, I should say. Let's hop into the big three topics that we have for a preview. Let's hop into first key offensive and defensive players that we're looking for in this game. And I know really there's more than one that we can probably do on both sides. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to talk more than one player and to be here longer than what we should. So let's try to narrow it down to one each and move on, because as much as I want to stay positive about this team, there's so much to go around to put fault on, and not just the coaching. So, Jordan, who is your key offensive player that you want to see absolutely something? And I know that's a big one to ask for, the offense. Starting off with offense is the bold move on my end. But who's someone on offense that you want to see something happen out of?
I got Chris Olave.
Hmm.
He just he didn't do nothing this past week at all, and
Mm.
hopefully this week he just hopefully goes off.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Derek Carr. And I know Jameis was my guy last week that I was going with, and the sudden change on Sunday morning that they were starting Derek Carr instead of Jameis after Saturday, they were saying that there was a legit shot, 50-50 chance, game time decision that Derek Carr would play, ended up playing. And really, I mean, he didn't look great. I'm not going to put 100% fault on him because it's a lot of play calling as well. But I think Derek Carr could have a better game. I know we're going into Foxborough. It's not that same hostile environment like whenever Tom was there, but it's still Foxborough. It's still Bill Belichick you're going against. So I don't think it matters. But I think Derek Carr, if given the opportunity with the play calling, with the offensive line, if and also not holding on to the ball too long, because I mean you can blame the offensive line all you want. He's still holding on to the ball too long, and that's resulting in a sack. So Derek Carr's my guy this week who I'm highlighting on offense. I think if he makes a play, he gets it to the receiver, to Kamara, to whoever. I think they have a good day. I think Derek Carr is a good day. Honestly, really, can it get any worse? It can only get better from here on out, I think. All right, so let's go to the more stronger part of the side, and that's defense. Defense has been playing a lot better than the offense. Obviously, if you haven't watched the Saints game, I advise you to do so if you want to see how or why I say that the defense has been playing better than the offense. But give me your defensive guy, man. Who are you going with?
I'm going with Cameron Jordan because
Mm.
he's getting past the person, and he's going after the quarterback. But sometimes they can't sack the quarterback, and sometimes they do. So
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Cam Jordan as well. And yeah, the defensive line, that's their main struggle right now, is getting to the quarterback. They're having no trouble stuffing the run. Yeah, the run has worked a lot better against the Saints in recent games than what we've seen in recent seasons. I remember the Saints defense didn't allow like a 100-yard rusher in a certain amount of games, and then the Philadelphia Eagles destroyed us on that. And then suddenly now we're giving up yard after yard when it comes to the running back or anything like that. But Mac Jones is not a mobile quarterback, so I'm not worried about him running. So I think if really if you're gonna pick a game for Cameron Jordan or or Carl Granderson, Brian Brissy, Malcolm Roach, just guys on that defensive line to step up. I think this is your game because, like I said, Mac Jones is not that mobile guy that we dealt with a Bryce Young or last week when we dealt with Baker. Baker can run. Jordan Love, I guess, had a little bit on him as well. So did Tannehill. All these guys we dealt with so far can move on their feet. I haven't seen that too much out of Mac Jones. Maybe I haven't watched enough Patriots games to know if he really can move or not on his feet. But I think if you're gonna open up the defensive line, this has to be the game. This has to be the game of Cameron Jordan gets like 2 sacks, or Carl Granderson, or the rookie Brian Brissy, or even Malcolm Roach. Like I said, Malcolm Roach had a decent game last game, so shout out to him for that one, being one of the very few highlighting points for this entire game. But yeah, I think the D line wakes up. I think finally they finally do something and it gets a little bit better. So here comes a fun part. Keys to a victory. What the fuck do we need to do to win this game? Because obviously what the hell we said last week didn't work. So what works this week? I mean, what do the Saints need to do to win?
Well, the play calling needs to get better, and if Derek Carr can throw the football and not hold on to it, and then just play calling, quarterback needs to throw the ball, not hold on to it, and just score when you get in the red zone.
Yeah. To reflect on what you said, yeah, play calling, offensive line, not holding onto the ball enough. I think that it helps a lot. It does. It helps quite a bit. To add on to that, whatever you did last week, do the exact opposite. That's all I gotta say. Do the exact opposite of what you did last week, because whatever you did last week didn't work at all. Whether it's the play calling, whether it's the offensive line, whether it's Derek Carr not getting it to his receiver, overthrowing people, or underthrowing, or turnovers and whatnot. Just do the exact opposite. This is a Patriots team that just got the shit kicked out of them by the Cowboys. There's no reason why that we should blow a game like this or even lose by the margin that we did last week. There's no excuse right there. If you lose to this Patriots team, I'm not saying the Patriots are bad, but they lost by a significant amount against the Cowboys in Dallas last week. We should not lose this game. So that's the easy one right there. Keys to a victory is just do the exact opposite of what you did last week. That's it. And now we get to the most untrue part of our show, something that never lives up to the hype, because last week was an absolute lie, and that's the score prediction. It doesn't matter how bad the Saints get their ass whipped. It don't matter if we lose 100-0. We're always going to pick the Saints. The Saints could be winless. The team that we're playing could be undefeated. We're going to pick them. We're biased when it comes to the picks, but what's your score, Jordan? If you had to give the most realistic score, even though it probably won't happen, what's the score you got for this week?
I got 21-14.
So I think it'll be low scoring again, unfortunately. Until this offense really proves something to me that they can go out there and score, it's going to be a low scoring game, unfortunately. And the Patriots only scored 3 points last week, but yeah, they went against the Dallas defense, who has been impressive as hell lately. The Saints defense is very impressive as well. I'm not sure if they're Cowboys level, if they're Cowboys level, impressive, but they're still very good. And the Cowboys have their bad days. Look at their game against Arizona. They played like shit. So every defense has their bad days, and the Saints defense has had some bad days, has had some bad plays, and they blew games like the one against Green Bay. They blew that game, and they just got the hell beat out of them by Tampa Bay. So I'm going with a low scoring game. I'm going 17-10. I think the Saints, I think if they get to 17, they're winning because the defense is not going to give up. And I can say that they're not giving up more than that, but they just gave up 26 to Tampa Bay. So I think you give up 10. There's no reason why you shouldn't score more than 10. And that's against the Patriots. 17 is my score. Should be a good one. Should be a lot better for our sake that they actually win this time. And I know people may be watching this, you'd be like, oh my God, this guy's such a downer. He's so negative. Dude, like if you're a Saints fan and you've seen this team year after year, then you understand my frustration and you understand why I want the coaches gone, why I want certain things done with this team. So that's really all I got. So before we hop out, Jordan, you got anything else you want to add on to this game?
No, hopefully it's better. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. That's a big hope that we have is that hopefully it's better because, like I said, it can't get any worse than last week, but then again, it could. So we'll be back next week to discuss this, hopefully in a better mood than what we are right now. But that'll do it for today's episode of the Dome Field Advantage podcast. Of course, you can find this podcast on all the audio platforms as well for the Fanatics Network. You can check this out on the YouTube channel, the Facebook page as you're watching this right now. Go out, check out the other content that the Fanatics Network will be doing this week that did earlier in the week. And then, of course, this weekend we have our big WWE Fastlane watch party that we'll be doing. If you didn't tune in now to the No Mercy and the Wrestle Dream watch party, I suggest you do so. It was loaded with just a jam-packed panel. It was fun. It was a great watch. So if you haven't watched it, go check it out. It was awesome. Go check out the rest of the fantastic content creators that we got on there. I'm not going to name everybody because I don't want to miss anybody and feel bad whenever I go back and watch this again. But everyone on here, if you know who you are, then you know I'm talking about you. So go check their content out. They are doing fantastic things. I'm very proud to be a part of this network. We've been rebranded for a few weeks now, and it's only getting better from here on out. Jordan is still kind of the newest part of this network, and he's been doing fantastic things. It's his first full episode as a co-host, so he's been doing fantastic things as well. We also have some more fantastic stuff coming in the coming weeks for the Fanatics Network as well. So be sure to tune into that. Once again, we will be back here next Wednesday, same time, 6 p.m. Central. And it will be a live stream unless something random comes up again. I didn't know last week that all of this would transpire and all that. But for everyone that's in the comments that's watching right now, thank you for tuning in. I hope to have responded to everybody that is watching and commenting as well. But yeah, we'll see y'all next week to hopefully be in a better mood. But until then, y'all have a great rest of y'all Wednesday, a great rest of your week, and enjoy your weekend as well. Enjoy some wrestling, enjoy some football, and if you're like me, enjoy some soccer. Premier League, La Liga, MLS. It's going to be a fun weekend of sports. Y'all have a great day, and y'all take care.